I'm Vanessa Tyler, and welcome to What's Eating Harlem, where we cover the most exciting community in the world. There is so much going on here in Harlem. Let's get started. Harlem's newest place to eat, drink rum, and be seen. We will take you to Solomon and Cuff and learn the meaning behind the name. Also, meet the artist who sees the beauty of nature and makes it a work of art and activism. A shark with a message: it is okay to be broke. In fact, there's power in it. All of that on this edition of What's Eating Harlem. Closed captioning supported by Chocolat Restaurant Lounge, 2223 Frederick Douglass Boulevard, Harlem. Everyone meets at the bar at Chocolat. Late night weekend dining too. Chocolat Restaurant Lounge. What's Eating Harlem, funded in part by Cove Lounge. Situated in the heart of Harlem, it embodies the spirit and vitality of its community, delivering a unique blend of cool sophistication and urban edge. Harlem is welcoming a new season, White Truffle Season. Urbani truffles, just 24 hours ago in Italy underground, and put on a plane exported worldwide, just landing in New York, now heading uptown. White Truffle Season is here, and Urbani Truffles is a proud supporter of What's Eating Harlem. Harlem is hot, and adding more fire, the latest restaurant to open its doors, Solomon and Cuff Rum Hall. This night, the beautiful people packed the place.
I think the venue is beautiful. Of course, since I'm a DJ, I was blown away by the fact that they have 2 DJ booths, both of which are elevated.
The music was on point at the opening night party, and the drinks were flowing. The huge space is located on Harlem's far west side, 133rd and 12th Avenue. In its many incarnations, it was originally a meatpacking warehouse.
As a matter of fact, when we did the construction here originally, we did find bones when we dug. They were bovine, but we did find bovine bones.
Julie Grunberger and Carl Franz Williams are partners in bringing this eclectic spot, tucked under the viaduct near the West Side Highway, to Harlem. If you know Carl, then you know what to expect from the drinks. He is the Pied Piper of cocktails. Where he mixes, the crowd will come.
It's been a great ride, becoming, they're close mixologist, but, I'll say beverage professional, expert cocktailian.
He is putting his golden touch on Solomon and Cuff Rum Hall, just like he has at 67 Orange in Harlem.
It's a source of pride, and it's a passion, and, it's something, like, when I walk through here at Solomon and Cuff and I see the smiles, like, that's, the best thing in the world is sitting at the bar and hearing someone next to you like, oh my God, this cocktail is amazing. I wonder if they put it here. Like, I'm just like, I'm good. Like.
But what's up with the name, Solomon and Cuff Rum Bar? Well, again, if you know Carl, then you know there is a meaning in the moniker.
I felt like it was fitting if I was going to talk about rum, that I really got into what rum was about, right? And rum kind of has a bit of a sad, seedy underside to it because you can't talk about rum without talking about the triangle trade. Sugar plantation, sugar growth was one of the first real major crop that brought slaves to the New World. And so, in other words, you can't talk about rum without talking about slavery.
America's slaves would work the sugar plantations. The sugar cane would be made into molasses, and the molasses would be distilled into rum. One of the slaves was a man named Venture Smith.
We're brainstorming and we found the story of Venture Smith. And Venture Smith, his name was Venture because, you know, the guy who first purchased him thought he was a great business venture, right? So he was purchased, you know, at the age of 10 for 4 gallons of rum.
Venture was a survivor. Slavery didn't stop him. He was able to save money to not only buy his freedom, but eventually the freedom of his wife and 3 children, 1 daughter, 2 sons. And his sons were named Solomon and Cuff.
But that's the name where Solomon and Cuff's rum all comes from.
So, along with the backstory, there is also the food.
The quality of the food is just superb. The concept is British gastropub with a Caribbean influence, with the Caribbean spices and the Caribbean ingredients. We're so excited about our chef, Christopher Faulkner. He has a wonderful pedigree. He's been in a lot of some of the best places in the city, as well as around the world. He's done a lot of traveling. He lived in Africa for a few years, so he was influenced by all of his travels.
Yeah, well, I lived in Africa for 5 years. I've lived in Switzerland for 2 years. I've cooked in Australia, the Caribbean, New York mostly, Los Angeles.
Cooking for him was a path set long ago.
I always wanted to eat, so cooking was the next best thing for a career. I grew up in a bakery. My mom had a brownie factory in the Bronx, and my grandmother had a grocery store.
I'm getting a taste of the Caribbean influence that will spice the menu at Solomon and Cuff. Hot out the oil, Johnny cakes, spicy pepper jam on top.
So there's a Johnny cake with pepper jam and curried onions. Yeah.
It is delicious. The chef is doing appetizer-sized portions of everything tonight, but he has created a menu full of surprises.
On the menu, we're going to have a homemade cocoa bread filled with different fillings, sort of like you would have a lobster roll, or you'd have like a fish pate, or a curry chicken salad. You know, it'll be in a small little cocoa bread.
There will be vegetarian selections and twists on everything.
Yes, we have some curry goat in little pastry shells. Our idea is to make a curried goat pie, sort of like in the English pub tradition. We have meat pies. We're going to have curried goat pies.
So between the food, the rum-based drinks, and the fact it is in Harlem, no wonder the crowd is pumped.
I can't wait to try the cuisine. I think it's going to be amazing. The fact that it's a Caribbean gastropub and a rum house is something that is amazing for the neighborhood. I think in the era of Harlem changing so much, to have a new venue that embraces the original culture that's here in a new way is kind of the motto for other businesses and other brands.
There are so many details. It feels very spacious, warm, sexy, sophisticated, and I want to play here. I really want to play here ASAP. What's Eating Harlem wants to get you involved. You have a story idea? Tell us. Go to our website, what'seatingharlem.com. There, you can sign up and become a member and get discounts to some of the places we feature. Remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
the crossroads of where art meets earth sits Mara G. Hazeltine. Her creations almost mystical. Her pieces seem like they grow from the ground or even the ocean floor. Hers is a unique take, mixing her art with her passion as an environmental activist.
And I use, science and nature as my muses. We are part of a living, breathing, watery biosphere, and I hope to inspire, awe about nature.
And awesome it is. Part of her exhibit includes her photography, where she collaborates with nature in the ocean, on the sand, in the forest. She would create these globes and infuse them with green fluorescent protein, something normally used for medicinal purposes, but in the art they seem to glow. Some of her pieces are teeny tiny as a caviar egg, but when photographed, magnified. It looms. Then other installations are as large as a room.
The shape looks like the torso of a female to me. So it's super figurative.
This started with a large, unwanted piece of wood.
It's really like, working with a corpse almost or something. It's totally organic. It would crack in new ways every day.
Then, to get to the beautiful color of the wood, she used aged vinegar and steel wool to rub it to life. Out popped all these reds and browns.
So I really feel like it's been this amazing collaboration between me and the wood, where the wood is, reacting.
Into the formerly dead wood, she inserted these bulbous sculptures, sensuous shapes.
So it symbolizes really, the cycle of life, sex and death, three biggies.
There is a message here, one that gallery owner Tatiana Pahay wanted to send and needed to be heard at her gallery on 139th and Frederick Douglass Boulevard in Harlem.
I think Harlem is the place that we should do these things.
And the people in Harlem came out to see saving the world is not only necessary, but amazing to look at.
Remember how important and beautiful nature is, that sometimes in a city we forget.
So the show is a reminder, enjoy nature, but protect it too.
There's, an audience that looks at fine art that doesn't necessarily connect to the environment, but if they can connect to something that's really sensuous and beautiful, I'm hoping to reach kind of a sector that maybe isn't, out there marching on the climate change march or signing petitions, but they do care about culture and art. And I think art can be actually a powerful weapon for the environmental movement without, bashing people over the head with it.
Capturing the beauty of nature now and forever.
It's kind of a different way to approach being an environmental advocate. For me, my God is Mother Nature. So I'm just always trying to worship her.
there is a shark in the water, and everyone swimming around him at his appearance in Harlem is ready to jump in. He is the marketing guru, the man with the golden touch, and our favorite shark. Damon John, a multi-millionaire, says, believe it or not, there is power in being broke.
For those who have been trained that they need money to make money, I wanted to make sure that they were aware that, especially with this day and age of social media and the fact that you can convert sales directly on your phone, you don't need money to make money. You need drive. Because money, if you go and raise a bunch of money and you don't have drive, passion, connections, you're just going to blow it.
He should know. We know his story. Grew up in Hollis, full of drive, push, and hustle. Some of it right here in Harlem.
You know, when my partners and I, Keith, Carl, and Jay, we were out there selling clothes, we stood on 125th Street. We stood in front of the Apollo and sold our hats.
The FUBU brand, which he marketed, is now legend.
But when you sell hats on 125th Street, those people who take your hats and buy them or don't buy them, they tell you exactly why they want them or they don't want them. Because you know, up in Harlem, they don't have a problem telling you how they feel. And that is an education. That's a true education.
Also in education, the rise to the top.
When I finally got some money, I got turned down by 27 banks. All right, none of my friends would give me any money, and then I finally went out and I had created such a demand for FUBU that I had $300,000 in orders, and then my mother and I decided to risk our house and mortgage it, but we felt we had the orders, so we're going to make the $300,000 and put it back into the house.
Damon says people think it's easy, but he had to get the orders first.
But Mom, no matter how much I love her and she loved me, she wouldn't have gave me the money if she thought that I didn't have it.
Just like on Shark Tank, the people you see have been on a journey, for some, a long time.
Walt Disney got turned down 300 times before he ever got an investment. You only see on Shark Tank the end result of somebody who may have busted their butt for 5, 10, 15 years, and they finally got to the point where a shark says, all right, you put in enough work, you learned enough mistakes, I feel like my money's safe with you and I like you more than I like anything else.
It's those words of wisdom Damon John has put in his latest book, The Power of Broke. Miss Harlem was packed to get the book and the lessons, including a lot of young people like 18-year-old Jordan Small, eager to be his own boss and grab the life he desires.
You have to go out there and fish for yourself. I mean, you can't always expect things to come to you.
Many agree with the power of being broke because the key is you won't be broke for long.
It's important to know that you don't have to have a lot of wealth. You don't have a lot of financial means to start. But if you have a good idea, a good product, a good service, and you're willing to put in the sweat equity to bring it to market, which is certainly what Damon did with his partners with FUBU those years ago, that you can start something, get it going, and then build from there.
Seems like everyone can attest to that, especially Sherry Collins.
I started out, as I affectionately call it, the oldest intern in the world.
Sherry's story is the power of broke and the power of faith. She left her corporate job back in 2008-2009. The economy tanked, and she left her hometown of Detroit on a one-way plane ticket.
So for me, the power of broke was losing everything in the city of Detroit.
With $1,000 to her name, she set out for New York to change her life.
The best part of the story is that I volunteered to do VIP concierge for the National Black MBA Conference, right? That's where I met Damon.
At that time, she found a job in New York, making $8 an hour at Lane Bryant. But something Damon said during that chance meeting at that conference lit a spark in her.
And he said, you know what? You're not a stylist, you're a brand architect. And it changed things for me.
Life, with its funny twists. After the conference, she read Damon John was looking for interns. It had been decades since she was in college.
And I saw that he was looking for interns in his New York, LA, and Miami offices. Then right after that, Alfred Edmond from Black Enterprise tweeted an article that said that internships are not for college students anymore. They are for seasoned professionals trying to make a way, trying to make a career change, trying to do something different. And I took it as a sign.
Now look at her. Years later, she is Damon John's public speaking manager. and an employee of his company, Shark Branding. Perfect illustration of the power of broke.
But more importantly, would I have worked for $8 an hour or take an internship at 46 if I wasn't broke? You can step out on faith. You can step out and live your dreams, and things are possible. Because when you're broke, you have nothing but opportunity and no place else to go but up.
That's all the time we have for now. Join us next time on What's Eating Harlem. I'm Vanessa Tyler. See you uptown.
Closed captioning supported by Chocolat Restaurant Lounge, 2223 Frederick Douglass Boulevard, Harlem. Everyone meets at the bar at Chocolat. Late night weekend dining too. Chocolat Restaurant Lounge. What's Eating Harlem, funded in part by Cove Lounge. Situated in the heart of Harlem, it embodies the spirit and vitality of its community, delivering a unique blend of cool sophistication and urban edge. Harlem is welcoming a new season, White Truffle Season. Urbani truffles, just 24 hours ago in Italy underground, and put on a plane exported worldwide, just landing in New York, now heading uptown. White Truffle Season is here, and Urbani Truffles is a proud supporter of What's Eating Harlem.
To become a member of What's Eating Harlem, go to www.whatseatingharlem.com and sign up for special events like wine tastings and food tastings. Also, join us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. If you have any ideas for stories about Harlem, send them to info@whatseatingharlem.com.